Ace Bailey got snubbed. There's no other way to look at it. Next on Locked on Jazz. Bum 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 pow.
You are Locked On Jazz, your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
How are you? I am David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz, Jazz NBA insider, and this is Locked On Jazz. It's your daily podcast on the Utah Jazz, giving you insight, expertise, geeky numbers, and hopefully making it way better to be a Jazz fan each and every day. Thank you so much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. On today's show, we will do Trends Tuesday. It's usually Trends Monday, but I did not get a show out yesterday. The Warriors and Clippers are next two opponents, maybe in some ways the most important people for the Jazz rebuild, or some of the most important people for the Jazz final rebuild. When we hit the accelerator, I'll explain that. We'll look a little bit at the isolation defense against Miami and the drive defense, just because that was an interesting matchup where Miami drives every single time, so we can see who defended. But we're starting. Oh, and we're going to discuss the fact that the NBA has changed the rules again, which I do not love. This is the second time in like 4 years they've done this, and I do not love it. But we're going to start with Ace Bailey getting snubbed, which I don't love either. The Rising Stars was announced yesterday, and the Rising Stars team has 10 players on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And to some extent, it feels like they went and just took everybody by minutes played, and then got to Keyonte James and was like, not really. And then got to Ace Bailey and just decided to skip him. So I've got 3 guys who made this roster in front of Ace Bailey that I don't think should have made it. So that's a snub. Like, if you're talking about 1 or 2 guys, like one guy, it's just a matter of opinion. But Yegor Joman out of BYU is playing the exact same amount of minutes per game, has played the exact same amount of games, is scoring fewer points, is getting fewer rebounds, has a half an assist more, is shooting less well over a field goal percentage. Effective field goal percentage is virtually the same. Each of them is equally allergic to the free throw line. Each of their teams doesn't win games. Right? There is no argument. Well, Yegor Denman's playing more important games, and he's no. Actually, not true. Brooklyn is 12-32, and the Jazz are 15-31. And by the way, this is Rising Stars. This has absolutely nothing to do with that. That one, I guess, is a 50-50. I disagree. Yeoman is trending better recently, as is Ace. Colin Murray-Boyles? Really? We're going to take Colin Murray-Boyles over Ace Bailey. Ace plays more minutes, scores more points, grabs one less rebound, basically the same assist numbers. They shoot it close to the same numbers. Really? Ace takes 10 shots a game. Colin Murray-Boyles takes 6. They're both allergic to the free throw line. I don't actually think it matters. But if it is it because the Raptors are 29-19 and we're suddenly awarding winning in Rising Stars games? The hell? There's just no chance of that. Not to mention that, like, recently, one of them's playing really, really well, Ace Bailey, and one of them's nicked up and not playing. I don't know if that matters, but it seems strange to me, at least, when Colin Murray-Boyles' last game was 10 games ago, and he's fine. He scores double figures, and he's been playing, and he's fine. I'm not criticizing these other guys, but there's no, like, the definition of a snub is literally choosing someone over someone else when it's a reasonable decision. And I don't think Dylan Harper's been much of anything. He's played 3 fewer games, plays 3 less minutes. He's on a better team. Got it. They score the exact same amount of points a game. Ace Bailey's shooting is way better. I mean, I guess he's got clout. Pretty brutal, though. Pretty brutal when it's 3 different guys you got snubbed over, right? Like, I can make a legitimate argument that Ace Bailey should be in over Joman. I can make a legitimate argument that Ace Bailey should be in over Murray Boyles. And I can make a legitimate argument that Ace Bailey should be in over Dylan Harper. Hey, VJ Edgecombe, yeah. Cooper Flagg, yeah. Con Knipple, you bet. Cedric Coward, great story. And starting. And playing 27 minutes a night. I'll be honest, the Jeremiah Fears one is like a little bit of like, he just is getting time. That's fine. He's been fine. I'm not sure like what I think. He's on a team that loses every game and he gets to play 26 minutes a night. Which really is not that different than Ace Bailey's 24.6. Derek Queen, same thing. He's playing Trey Johnson's 25 minutes a game, 13 points a game. Numbers are a little bit better, but like he's just playing on a bad team. It's all Ace Bailey's doing too. It's what young players do. So honestly, VJ Edgecombe, Cooper Flagg, Con Knipple, Cedric Coward, those 4 deserve to be on the team above Ace Bailey. And then when it gets to Jeremiah Fears and Derek Queen, like, not totally certain. We could have done that. Trey Johnson, Igor Joman, Colin Murray Boyles, Dylan Harper. Pretty bizarre to pass the 5th pick of the draft on that. Pretty bizarre. Didn't know that there was some sort of storyline out there that Ace Bailey's underperforming this year, because I certainly haven't seen it. I mean, I actually almost feel like the storyline is Ace Bailey hasn't turned out to be anything like anyone thought he was going to be. He's actually been totally different. And that might have just come back to bite him. So too bad, because I think that's brutal. I really think it's brutal. I mean, I don't want to go nuts, but yeah, seems wrong. On the other one, it's again almost felt like they just did minutes played, except for the sophomores are Bazulis, Castle, Klingon, George, Mitchell, Sarr, Shepard, Spencer, Tyson, Ware, and Wells. Hard to complain. Bob Carrington is the snub here, where they just literally decide you're getting minutes, but you're actually not very good. But the minutes played are George, Castle, Sarr, Tyson, Bazulis, Klingon, Wells, Mitchell, Shepard. And then the crazy one is that they took Cam Spencer over Zachary Richauche. And then they took Khalil Ware over Zachary Richauche. Just bypass the number 1 pick of the draft. But otherwise, it's literally by minutes played other than Bob Carrington. Isaiah Collier, Pell Larson are the next ones on the list. Minutes played. I don't have an Isaiah Collier snub here. I don't have a Kyle Filipowski snub here. This class is having a little bit of a revival, which is nice because last year was the worst class ever. Quickly, the other night was interesting because, and then we're going to talk about the league changing the rules again. Miami drives more than any team in the NBA. And so they drove it something like 50 times, 60 times at the Jazz the other night. Cody Williams took 14 of the drives and allowed 1.2 points per drive. It's not great. Kyle Filipowski had 9 drives at him, allowed 1.3 points per drive. Isaiah Collier had 9 drives at him, allowed 1.4 points per drive. So none of those are super. In fact, 1.4 and 1.3 is pretty bad. 1.2 is not good. Yusuf Nurkic was 0.7 in 8 drives, which is pretty great. Bryce Sensabaugh, 7 drives, 0.5. Pretty great. I don't know the circumstances. We have to look at them all, who they were, but pretty great. Walt Clayton, 6 drives, 0.3. Terrific. Ace Bailey, 6 drives, 1.5. Not good. Kyle Larson, 4 drives, 0.67. Keyonte, 4 drives, 1.0. So interesting. Cody, we put on the best guy who's going to be driving the most. Was probably Jaime Jaquez or Norman Powell. And They had pretty good success on him. Filipowski got the second most, which is the life he's going to live. Kyle's going to be playing the 4 more and more. Teams are just going to go at him every possession. The story of the next 40 games for Kyle is, can he defend the 4? And Bryce is showing good signs of improving defensively. The NBA changed the rules again. They did this 2 years ago. It's done again. I hate it. Next on Locked On Jazz. Today's show is brought to you by my friends over at Murdoch Chevy, located in Woods Cross, also in Logan. The Chevy lineup of trucks is just amazing. It is the Silverado and the Colorado. It's been that way for a while because you don't mess with what's right. That's right. Murdoch Chevy in Woods Cross has got amazing deals going for you right now on the Silverado, the big king poobah of all trucks, plus the Colorado and the Silverado EV. But right now you can take $10,000 off the 2026 Silverado 1500, right? Plus 1.9% on the 2026 Silverado 1500 for 3 years. That also goes for the Equinox with a great SUV lineup, the Blazer, the Equinox for you. Of course, the Utah County assault vehicles, the Tahoe and the Suburban there for you. Well, it's all at Murdoch Chevy. If you're going to head over there, feel free to email me at dlock09@gmail.com. That's dlock09@gmail.com so that we can get you the VIP treatment that you deserve. Today's show is also brought to you by TurboTax. It's that time of year. Well, not quite, so you can get ahead of the game because tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This TurboTax is here to make it easier for you to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax full service, you can have your taxes done for you by a local trusted expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. That's right. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person and connect online. They can handle everything from W-2s to self-employment forms and work to get you every deduction possible. You can upload your documents, go about your day, get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives you real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done at a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in. If a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year, just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get your back to your life. Visit TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. TurboTax.com/local to book your appointment today. Take taxes off your plate. Thanks so much for making Locked On Jazz your first listen, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Every Dayer Club is out there. The All Access Club gets you one-on-one texting with me, gets you my prep sheets and interaction before every ball game, get some comments from me during the game, get you access to the exclusive Locked On Discord channel with our Jazz conversation that's taking place, which is supposed to be, the goal is to make it like a great sports Twitter like it once was out there for you, where you just don't get sucked into everything else. Plus, you get ad-free. Plus, you get Locked On Sports Today ad-free. Plus, you get exclusive content on the draft and draft prospects from Leaf to Lean. What a game between Arizona and BYU yesterday. Leaf's done amazing stuff. The freshman class is going bonkers, 44-point explosions, and the rest. And Leaf's been breaking it all down for you with extra content. So make sure you join us. Go to lockedonjazz.supercast.com. That's lockedonjazz.supercast.com. You get all of that for $15 a month or $150 a year if you sign up annually. You get 2 months off. If you just want the Discord channel for the fun Jazz Twitter and be part of our exclusive Discord channel with good other Jazz fans, you can do that. Plus, you get ad-free. Plus, you get Locked On Sports Today exclusive ad-free, and that is $5 a month. So all of that is at lockedonjazz.supercast.com. 2 years ago, there was too much scoring, and the NBA, in my opinion, changed the rules. If you ask the NBA, they changed their points of emphasis. I have to be honest about this. I'm a big fan of the league. I'm a big fan of the Utah Jazz. Pays my bills. I find this as one of the more disturbing things the league does, because I think it alters the course of the season. It's literally like playing Ticket to Ride with your family and someone changes the rules midway through. You've built your roster under one rule, and then they alter it. Now they're not changing the rules. They just change the way the game is called. It's literally, and the fact that they can do this is disturbing to me as well. So I hate this. Just to be perfectly clear. And they blatantly did it 2 years ago. And I think right around Christmas or January 1st, they did it again. So one thing that is true is that the NBA, the offense in the NBA goes up every month. Okay? Every month the NBA offense goes up. It's the way the league works. Like over the years, offensive rating just gets better and better and better as the year goes on. To January 1st, the offensive rating in the league was a 115.7, which is super high. The only time it's ever been higher was 2 years ago when the league did the same thing. There's some level here they think's too high. And we were starting to get big scoring. We weren't getting those massive scoring outputs like we had a year ago, but we were getting stuff. Okay. Since January 1st, the league is scoring 1.2 points per 100 possessions fewer than it did to start the year. That is an astronomical drop. I know it sounds like it's 1.2%. I know it sounds like it's like a percent, but it's an astronomical drop. Okay? Something has to have changed considerably. First of all, it should be going up. And then we'd be at 116 and 117 by the end of the year, and that's a lot. And 2 years ago, we were on the verge of being at 120, which is crazy numbers for the league average. And the league didn't like that. So what's changed? Effective field goal percentage is down a tiny bit from 54.5 to 54.1. Okay, tiny bit. The turnover rate, though, is also down. Interestingly, surprisingly, 14.5 to 14.2. The offensive rebounding rate is down a little bit. So maybe people came out of the year. I'll go with this. You can go with this if you want to. If the league wants to tell me this is not true. Yeah, offensive rebounding was a big deal early in the year, and now teams don't have quite the same energy, and they can't offensive rebound at the same rate, and down 0.6. Okay, it's down 0.6. That equates to half a rebound every 100 opportunities. So that would be once every other game. Or about that. Maybe even third game. But the free throw rate is down like 14%. Cleaning the glass keeps the stat free throw rate. Free throw rate is the amount of free throws you take compared to field goal attempts. Okay, so how many free throws do the opponents make per 100 field goals attempts? And the rate was 21.2 and is now 19.4. Those are the advanced metrics. The league has gone from scoring 116.6 points to January 1st. Since then, it's 113.9 per. This is the median team. I just took the median team, 15th ranked. 113.9. So it's down 2.7 points. It's a lot. Field goal percentage is from 47.2 to 46.9. Well, it's a little more physical, and they aren't calling so many fouls. Probably just hasn't dropped a 3-point percentage, which physical play shouldn't impact, is the exact same. 3-point attempts are down one a game. 3-point attempts was 36.2 to 36.4. 3-point attempts are from 37.4 to 36.6. Median team. Could be a little flaw in that numbers. I could have done season average, but just median team. But free throws are down 2 a game. Now that doesn't actually equate for the entire 2.6 points. I actually thought it was going to be higher. Offensive rebounds are basically the same. Turnovers are down. This is really interesting to me. Turnovers shouldn't be down at the foul rate if people are fouling and not getting called for it. Steals are the same. Personal fouls are down 2 per team per game. So we've stopped calling fouls. We did this 2 years ago too. So what does it mean? It just means the rules are a little different. We have to figure out. It should help Detroit a great deal. They're super physical. It should help Houston. They're super physical. Should help Boston. They're pretty physical. Like if you maul a little bit. What's also interesting in this time period is there aren't really any teams that are red hot. Now, this could be fatigue and some other things that are taking place, but there aren't really teams that are red hot in the NBA right now. The team that has the best record in the NBA since this is the LA Clippers. But their differential actually is not great. They're 10-3. Boston's 9-5. Cleveland's 9-4. Toronto's 9-4. Portland's 9-4. Well, Portland picks up 94 feet and holds. The one that's really weird here is Charlotte is 8-6 in this time period, has the massive differential because they beat us by 50, and is also the number 2 defensive team in the league since then. So they did this a few years ago, and it suddenly hurt teams that drove a lot and did that in isolation teams and helped teams like Denver, and I think Denver went on to win the title. Maybe not. There's a few. I have to go check and see who it was. It was actually the same year. But it's worth noting that we are playing by a different set of rules right now than we played by earlier in the year, in my opinion. You just can't have this statistical change this dramatically without something consciously being changed somewhere. You don't drop in the month of January. You do not drop 4 points a game, 3.5 points a game scoring. And the fouls don't suddenly also drop at the same time. Like there's no shooting. Oh, the players are tired. Well, there'd be a shooting change. There's no shooting change. Players are injured. Well, there'd be some other change. But this one's just fouls. So keep an eye on it. I do think it's worth noting, if you want this from a Jazz standpoint, it's interesting to me that it doesn't seem to have bothered Keyonte George. That's a great sign. The player who should be most impacted by this is Keyonte George. And yet, Keyonte George, in the month of January's true shooting percentage is 61%, which is great. His usage rate is down a tiny bit. His shooting percentages are down a tiny bit, only down based on the fact that December was insanity. It is worth noting that in 13 games in December, he took 108 free throws. And in January, in 13 games, he's taken 86. Now, Lauri hasn't played as much, so there's something. But that is a decrease of 18 free throws in 13 games, which, oh my gosh, that's like 1.5 a game. That's almost exactly. Oh, my, that's it. Oh, so Keyonte might actually be bearing 100% the burden of this change. Yep. And is fighting through it. Pretty great. I'm going to push the Clipper Warrior conversation till tomorrow. And we'll do Trends Tuesday next on Locked On Jazz as we continue. The Charlotte Hornets. Is this real, baby? It's going to stun you on Trends Monday next on Locked On Jazz. Today's edition of Locked On Jazz is brought to you by Game Time, the official ticketing app of Locked On. If you want to get to a game, Game Time is the answer. Download the Game Time app. Use the code 20 Locked On for $20 off. Because there's nothing like being in the arena, in the action, feeling the energy. Boy, was it incredible Sunday in Seattle. Getting tickets is the part has not always been so simple, so let's make it easier for you with Game Time. Go to the Game Time app for scoring tickets fast without the hassle. It puts the advantage back where it belongs with the fans. Pull up the Game Time app, pick up an upcoming NBA game, and have tickets locked in within minutes. Love to see the all-in pricing up front. No surprise fees at checkout. View from the seat. Great last-minute options with NBA tickets showing up at solid prices. Everything feels quick, intuitive, stress-free, start to finish. So take the guesswork of having to buy NBA tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. That's Locked On, or just Locked On, not Locked On NBA. Locked On for $20 off your first purchase. That code's Locked On for $20 off. Go download the Game Time app today. And remember, it's GameTime.co. It's not .com anymore. It's GameTime.co. That's GameTime.co, not GameTime.com. GameTime.co here for your, and Locked On is your $20 coupon off. All right, every Monday, but I didn't do a show yesterday. Traveling, so my apologies. We have to, we don't have to. We do Trends Monday, and we do it in two fashions. We look at the teams in the last 10 games to see what trends we have. We look at offensive and defense, and then we look at the last 5 games. One thing that's interesting is we just do not have as many teams getting hot as we used to. The league's just much flatter. So the two best teams win-loss ways over the last 10 are Detroit and LA. Brooklyn and Washington are both 1-9, but there's only 4 teams in the last 10 games of the NBA that haven't won at least 4 games. Crazy, right? Think about that. In the last 10 games, there's only 4 teams that haven't won at least 4 games. So the league's way flatter than it's ever been. Memphis and Utah have won 3. Brooklyn and Washington have won 1. That's a huge change. There are only 5 teams that have won more than 6. Oklahoma City, Denver, Cleveland won 7. Pretty incredible by Denver. Cleveland may have clicked back in. Clippers and Detroit. Okay. Number 1 offense in this time period is Charlotte by a lot. Chicago is number 2. No idea where that came from. Lakers is number 3. Cleveland is 4. Oklahoma City 5. And the Warriors is 6. Some of that's before Jimmy Butler. Teams that can't score right now are Indiana, Washington, Brooklyn, 76ers, Orlando, and Milwaukee, and then Portland at 24th. Orlando at 26 is just, things are not great in Orlando. They're 4-6 in the last 10. Their offense is 26th in the league. Some of that's with Wagner, some's without. Best defensive team in the league. Oh, this is funny. The most physical team in the entire league is 6 points better than everybody else in the NBA defensively in the last 10 games. What could have last segment could have happened. Detroit is a 101.7. The next closest is Oklahoma City, which is a 107.2. Then San Antonio, then Phoenix, then Charlotte, and then Dallas. Dallas best is 6th point. Portland is 7th. Boston's 8th best. Funny. Teams are the worst defensive teams in the NBA. Utah, Brooklyn, Sacramento, Washington, Orlando. Wait, Orlando's calling card is defense. They're 26th defensively. And the Lakers 25th. Net rating, Charlotte, Detroit, Oklahoma City, Golden State, LA, and Boston. So again, Charlotte, number 1 team. Now they have that 50-point win. That's why. Detroit, but they're still pretty good in everything else. Oklahoma City, Golden State, Clippers, and Boston are the 6 hottest teams in the NBA. Coldest teams in the league are Brooklyn, Utah, Washington, Orlando, Milwaukee, Indiana. The Orlando story here is worth noting. All right, let's go to last 2 weeks. See what the trends say. By the way, the league average offense for the year is a 115.7. It's been a 114.5 recently. Okay. And for the 114.9 for the last 2 weeks. Okay. Like exactly what I was telling you. The number 1 team is still Charlotte. How many games ago did they blow us out by 50? That might be. Is that still in here? That's getting close to being gone. Yeah, I mean, it's 2 weeks. We're 9 games out, so this might not include it. This is right on the edge of that. Charlotte's 5-2, the plus 14. Detroit's next. Then Oklahoma City. Then Boston. Then Dallas. And then Cleveland is 6-1 in their last 7 with a plus 8.2. Golden State before the injury right there. Bottom teams, the team we should be the most fearful of in the NBA right now is Milwaukee. They're minus 20 in their last 5 games. We should be very concerned about Milwaukee. Milwaukee could really ruin our lives. Orlando, Brooklyn, Utah, Indiana, Philadelphia, and Washington. So Philadelphia struggling 2-5 in their last 7 and really struggling. Orlando 1-4 in their last and really struggling. Philip Rosman, right? Should be interesting. Best offense in the NBA the last 2 weeks is Chicago, followed by Charlotte, the Lakers, Dallas, Boston, and San Antonio. The worst offenses in the league are Indiana, Milwaukee, Orlando, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and Brooklyn. Interesting, no Trae Young. Detroit, best defense, Oklahoma City, Charlotte, Cleveland, Boston, Minnesota. So Minnesota and Cleveland may have solved their problems a little bit. Portland's right there. Worst defense, Utah, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Orlando, Sacramento, Philadelphia. That is your Trends Monday. Be fearful of Orlando. The last thing we also do every Monday is we look at the Tankathon. And we're going to run little simulations just to see, so we can all have our moment together here. Right now, the Jazz are sitting at 6th. Milwaukee is the scary team here. Milwaukee has won 18 games. We have won 15. Milwaukee, I don't think, wins 25. We have to really not get to 7th. 7th gets really dangerous. Our pick is protected 1 through 8. If you get to 7th and 2 teams bump you, you're out. If you're at 6th, you're pretty certain you're at least getting a pick. It's just probably not as good as you want. Brooklyn's lost 5 in a row and Sacramento's lost 5 in a row at number 12. I don't know that we get out of 6. New Orleans is our hope. They have no incentive to lose games. Atlanta has their pick, and if New Orleans can keep going, then maybe we can get to 5th. 5th gets you a 42% chance of having a top 4 pick and a 10% chance of the number 1 pick, and it feels like that would be a nice little jump for us. So keep rooting heavily for New Orleans. Washington, Indiana are set. Sacramento and Brooklyn think it's going to be hard for us to catch, but we'll try. And Charlotte is on their winning ways, moving on. Memphis, we'll see. I'm not sure they're going to go into full tank, though they are in just a different. Memphis and Milwaukee, we should be rooting for them to win games. We are scared of them. Your favorite team as a Jazz fan are the New Orleans Pelicans, the Memphis Grizzlies, and the Milwaukee Bucks. You need them to win. And here we go. The Utah Jazz slide to 7th in today's lottery. Atlanta gets the number 1 pick through New Orleans. And their franchise has been forever changed by the trade they made, giving up Derek Queen to Orlando. The draft order would be Atlanta, Memphis, Brooklyn, Washington, Indiana, Sacramento, Utah. That would be one of our worst case scenarios. That wasn't so pleasant. That wraps up Locked On Jazz today. Have a great one. Talk to you soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks for being back. Sorry about yesterday. Postcast after the game. Leaf Tuline's extra content. Become an everydayer. Go to lockedonjazz.supercast.com to become an everydayer. Get Leafs exclusive content for you. Get access to our one-on-one texting. Get access to our Discord channel. You can follow me on socials at DLock09 as well. Right now, we send you the first ever 24/7 national NBA channel, Locked On NBA on YouTube, plus on audio. Make sure you check out Locked On NBA Game Night, every game, every night.